We should have many more seats in Congress, and we have an opportunity in Texas to pick up 5 seats. We have a really good governor, and we have good people in Texas, and I won Texas. I got the highest vote in the history of Texas, as you probably know, and we are entitled to 5 more seats.
You can always count on Donald Trump to eventually give away the game, saying that Texas should disenfranchise millions of voters, because why try to win over voters when you can just rig the map instead? Democratic Texas lawmakers have left the state of Texas to prevent that from happening, to prevent the new maps being drawn at Trump's urging from being passed, leading Texas Governor Greg Abbott to order their arrest. The Texas legislature attempted to gavel into session today, but did not have the quorum necessary to reconvene. The legislature will reconvene Friday, August 8th. That is the date that Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton set for the lawmakers to return, or he will attempt to have the courts declare their seats vacant. Lawmakers have pledged to stay out of the state until the session expires on August 19th. In the last hour, Governor Abbott told Fox News that state law enforcement was in the process of tracking down Democratic lawmakers. Take a look.
As we're talking right now, Texas Department of Public Safety officers are on the streets looking for those Democrat House members to arrest them and to take them to the Texas Capitol and hold them there until a quorum is reached.
What better way to prove the point that Democrats are making than that? Joining our coverage is Texas State Representative James Talarico. Thank you so much for coming back and talking to us.
Thanks for having me back.
Tell me your understanding of what happens now with the threats of arrest levied and publicized. What's the plan?
Well, like you said, they are being consistent, because with these rigged maps, they are trying to rob Texans of the ability to select the representatives of their choice, the most fundamental part of our representative democracy. And now they are threatening to literally remove elected officials from their positions, remove the people's representatives from those positions of public trust. This is a page out of an authoritarian playbook that we've seen in other countries, and it should be alarming to all of us, not just Democrats, but independents and Republicans too.
Representative, what is the plan for Democrats? How do you hold the line?
Well, we've all committed. There are 57 of us that have committed to staying out of the state capitol until the end of this special legislative session. That's 2 weeks from now. And that way we can kill these corrupt maps and stop this sham process. We're trying not to get too caught up in hypotheticals. We don't know what will happen after that. Governor Abbott could call us back for another special session. These blue states with a Democratic trifecta may try to retaliate, and some of them are moving forward in that process. And there are also court challenges. So there are lots of things that could happen. But all of us have made that commitment to at least stay out of the Capitol for this special session and stop this power grab.
What are you hearing from your constituents, from Texas voters?
I mean, the response has been overwhelming, thanking me for fighting for our community, for fighting for free and fair elections across the state, across the country. And Nicole, it's not just Democrats. I've heard from some Republicans, too, who don't want this midterm election stolen. They know they may lose some seats because Donald Trump's his policies have been pretty unpopular, but they do want the process to be fair. Texans don't like cheating, and that's why we have walked out of the special session. I think most folks know that at the beginning of the decade is when we adjust district lines after we get a new census. And the Republicans in Texas did that in 2021. But this is different. Trump is now asking them to redraw those maps in the middle of the decade because he's worried about losing his majority. It's like two football teams coming out of the locker room at halftime. The team that's ahead says, we want to change the rules for the second half so that we can win the game. All of us would recognize that as blatant cheating. And if they're going to cheat, we're not going to play.
What would you like states like California to do?
Well, this is a tricky strategic and moral question, because I believe we need to get gerrymandering out of every state. Politicians shouldn't be choosing their voters. Voters should be choosing their politicians. And that's why I've filed a bill in Texas to create an independent citizen-led redistricting commission in our state. That bill hasn't even gotten a hearing. But if one side cheats, the other side has to respond. If one side cheats, all bets are off. And I don't think Democrats should unilaterally disarm. I remember growing up, when there was a bully on the playground, I learned that you have to look that bully in the eye and not blink. If you lay down and play dead, it's not going to work. And the reason you look them in the eye is because bullies are weaker than you think. And that is true here, too. And I'm hopeful that with these blue states responding and with Texans and Americans rising up because of the spotlight we've shined on this power grab, we're going to see them reverse course or pay consequences at the ballot box.
You were just on with Joe Rogan, who said you should, quote, run for president because you're a good person. Have you asked for his help in raising public awareness? I mean, in the minority, that's really, I assume, your best tool is the public's resistance to this power grab in Texas. Have you asked to come back on and make your case against the Texas maps?
I haven't, but hopefully when I get to go home, I'd love to join his podcast. But we have had so much attention, again, not just from Democratic or left-leaning outlets, but even from right-leaning outlets. And I think that spotlight is putting a lot of pressure on my Republican colleagues back home, which is necessary because if this power grab succeeds, it'll be a fundamental disruption to our representative democracy. And that should be unacceptable to all of us, regardless of our political affiliation.